again, everybody. This is Amorgin, and you're very welcome back to another episode of Founder Server Shenanigans. And today, guys, we're going to look at the state of affairs on the Founder server. There's been a little bit of a change in terms of the politics. No longer are we at full-scale conflict levels with RUG. We have an agreement in place, which I'll get into in a couple of minutes, guys. But right now our priority in HOM is to rebuild the alliance to its former levels of strength, get up the level of the alliance by these donations. And you'll see through this, guys, that maybe not everybody realised that by donating to your alliance it allows you to advance in your various different faction events. For me, it's the Romulan faction event, the daily Romulan faction event, where you spend your resources and you get awarded points for that. Contributing to your alliance, guys, will help with that, as we can see. But of course, that's not our priority. That's not why we're doing this. That's a nice little aside. We're doing this because it's a time for rebuilding for us, guys. We formed this loose kind of mining agreement with the other main alliances on the server, and safe to say that alliances like this, alliances like Borg, they've become a bit of a sleeping giant. Borg were essentially a mining alliance that formed from all of the different former enemies and friends and whatever else, and they became pretty strong pretty fast. Former enemies and former friends in that alliance, and yeah, and we're into a semi-conflict situation with a mining agreement. It's an interesting one for some of you guys that are struggling with mining agreements on your server. I know it's a contentious issue for many, but the way we've basically done it is that it's a free-for-all on any warship in open space, any base that's unshielded. All fair game. Nobody's safe if they're unshielded, and if the warship is lingering about, it's fair game. However, we've come up with an agreement with most of the alliances that miners are off limits. It's allowing people to mine peacefully, build up a little bit of RSS if they can, and go out and raid a few bases and attack warships and whatever you want to do in the meantime. But it's nice. It's a nice change of pace, guys, to be able to send out your mining ships and not have them attacked all of the time. Now, that's not the case now for some of the alliances here, so we'll get into that also in a wee moment. But right now, we can see that Loki are one of the alliances that they just don't want to do business maybe with HOM, or they have an issue with HOM at the moment. But as long as they keep it, I suppose, to hitting bases and warships, we can't complain too much. We can see from some of this footage that a small wee bit of a haul there from Mason. Well done to him. If he wants to schedule his next attacks, I'll put the kettle on for him. And we can see Karma here. Karma, one of the well-known players on our server with Loki, one of Loki's heavy hitters. Karma done a little bit of damage. Didn't get away with an awful lot, but the two guys done best at it. There were others there like Moot and whoever. I don't know what they were at. Maybe they were leveling up their ships because they just kept spamming the base and there was nothing to take out of it. But sure, that's the way that it goes. I had my little bit of revenge here. One of my neighbours happened to be a Loki neighbour. Bit of a silly move from Loki when I'm stuck right beside one of their players who's unshielded with resources in his base, to come out and hit me and spam my base. You know, it's only gonna cause me to go and take home whatever it is that this H-man guy was holding on to. So it's mine now. I probably would have left Loki alone if they had left me alone, but now they're fair game. So we'll see the Loki guys around the systems. What's interesting for us, guys, is we're looking forward right now into this swarm event. It's an interesting one for us because we've just recently formed this this I suppose loose mining agreement, and we've got this announcement now, the threat from beyond. Presumably that's going to be the name of the event, is the threat from beyond. I'll have a video of course coming on that once I've got my teeth into it a little bit. So it'll be an interesting one to see what way this works out for us. We're always anticipating, guys, this idea of armadas. What does that mean when armadas are coming? Is that going to be server v server? Is that going to be is that going to be alliance-based stuff? Now, bear in mind that the armadas thing that we always look at, it's in the alliance tab, so that's an indicator it's going to be an alliance based event. But we've, of course, it's legendary now that it's coming soon, so we'll just have to wait and see on that one. You see here that Bomb are another alliance that, like Loki, they're just not entirely happy with Hum, so some of their guys are fair game, and then within the terms of the agreement that we've got, any base of course unshielded is fair game. And part of the reckoning behind that is if we ever have to go into multi-server activities, or there's a merger or any of this kind of stuff, we want to have our shit together. We want to be able to work together, even though there were enemies. We want to let guys like Hiltz here, let water be under the bridge. There's a time, I said before, there's a time that myself and Hiltz and Say and others there, we might be forced into a situation where we may want to work together. We don't know what sort of aggressive players are out there, and in the former video that I'd done calling on people to contribute their screenshots of the power levels on their servers and what have you, it looks now, guys, like there are contenders out there in terms of strength on this founder server. Some people are even claiming, and we shout out to Adrenochrome, who's on my Discord. He's one of the nonsense disseminators on my Discord. Adrenochrome's from another server, and he's shown us some screenshots, as have others, and I want to thank people for that. But he's shown us some screenshots of the power levels on his server, and reckons that some of their guys could go toe to toe with guys like Char and Hiltz and Say and all these guys. So we don't know what their aggression levels are going to be like if we ever get merged. We don't know what the relationships will be like. Former enemies on servers could find themselves in bed together very handy. It's happened to us before. We had a server merge before. The ROG guys and all know only too well about that. My suggestion to RPH and alliances like that were their DNA comes from server 2 originally. My advice to them guys is get over it, guys. Get over it and catch up with the program here, because we've been through the server merges, remember. Look at where it's left us. We might have to work together. Look at how Hum and Sword and ROG, when they need to, will work together. It's very apparent, anybody who's looking at it is very apparent that the ROG leadership and the Hum leadership, we can get stuck into each other here, surely, no problem, but we need lines of communication. We need to be able to drop our shit and work together if necessary. And the advice would be the same for any servers out there in advance of any potential server merges. Get your shit together. Get over old gripes, guys. If you can't work with somebody, let somebody trusted in your alliance do that. And they'll work with them and arrange the agreements and stick by them as much as you can. Because if you come up against the likes of Sai and Hiltz here, trust me, there are no pushovers. And I'm pretty sure there's people who are no pushovers on other servers too. So who knows what way it's going to go, guys. Certainly for us on the founder server here, plenty of conflict at the minute. It's not full-scale war. There's no bitterness or venom that I'm tasting out there. One or two people are a wee bit salty, but that's to be expected. And we're taking our fair share of hits. I, of course, like to sit on minimal resources. I'm sitting on 3 million power here and 2.3 million tray and 500,000 dilithium. So it's worth being shielded. You can see I'm shielded, and it's worth being shielded to protect that. Normally, I like to sit on the protected limit. But that's not the case right now. So my advice to people is spend it while you can. I'll certainly have this spent before long. We shout out to Ratty Run there. Ratty Run just seems to turn up randomly when I'm recording. I've seen him around a few times. I don't know him, but he's turned up there. We don't know where they're going to hit King Kev. It looks like it, but I wouldn't like Hiltz parked on my rear there, and somebody like Ratty Run turning up. It would suggest to me like the guys are going to take him off that mine. but minor hits are a little bit frowned upon at the moment. Not entirely sure what way the thing sits between Borg and Rug, but presumably Borg are in the agreement. So Ratty Run warped out there, so that was that. A wee shout out to Darky there. Darky came to visit for some tea and biscuits. We had a nice wee chat and caught up on the old times, and Darky's always very welcome. He's one of those guys I look forward to visiting and try to make sure that the house is clean when he arrives. So we have new battle graphics here, guys. I think I'm kind of responsible for this. I'll show you now very shortly why. I'm impressed enough with it. Like, let's face it, it does jazz the thing up a wee bit. I would have preferred a skippable sequence. I would, and I'll demonstrate that in a second. I would have preferred that this was a sequence that of animation that we could view in more high definition instead of real time, and and skip it if we want. We will soon tire of this battle animation as well. But it certainly makes a nice little change. I like it. I welcome it. Of course I would say that because I've called for this before. It's certainly by no means up the list in terms of the priorities for what needs to be sorted out in this server. There's a lot of giving out about making fancy battle animations and not bothering to fix the bugs and not bothering to deal with the communications. But there it is. We have it. I like it. It's welcome. Let's hope that they can focus on other things here as well. Again, other games we'll not just mention right now, but other games could learn something from this. It would certainly be a nice wee touch there to be able to go and look at a nice animated space battle, for example. So guys, that was my suggestion from another game that I play. I done that back in May, I think. So maybe the guys are watching my videos, not just my Star Trek Fleet Command videos. Maybe in Scopely headquarters I've got a few fans. So if that's the case, guys, we shout out to my fans that are in Scopely headquarters. We might arrive someday with the other content creators with our sleeping bags and our cheap bottles of wine, and we'll hook up with some of you guys and maybe create the very first Scopely Con or something like that, where a crowd of Irishmen and Aussies and Yanks can all get together and get drunk and carry on ridiculous in Barcelona. It might be coming, guys. Watch this space. But nice battle animations, guys. I have to say I do like it, but like I say, I would have preferred it to be a skippable animated sequence. But all you people that are disgruntled about this sort of stuff being brought into the game before bugs are fixed, you can blame me. It's my fault. I'll take it on the chin. We're looking at the need for real changes in this game, guys. But you know, this is nice to look at. But like I say, we'll soon tire of it. And a wee couple of screenshots here now as well of the various different hits that I've taken over the course of the last 48 hours. The guys are fond of hitting the miners, making their point. But like I mentioned before, time to get with the program, guys. We don't know what we're faced with in the future. All of these things are trial and error for us. We have a bit of a head start on the other servers here. It's about time you's wised up, lads, and got with the program, like I say. Work together with your enemies, see if we can do this, and be prepared for every possibility. It may not be today or tomorrow, but down the tracks we're certainly looking at changes coming. So yeah, RPH and Bomb and these kind of guys that might want to hit miners, just think again, guys. It may not be to your benefit, to your best interests. The mining isn't being done for us to upgrade our ships. Let's be real. The sort of resources you get out of mining is not even going to upgrade a decent component in one of your ships. Like, so we're not doing this here for the RSS necessarily, guys. It's more about having peace while still be able to play the game and have the PvP aspects. So we shot there, guys, of the Gorn assault vessel, testing a wee officer set up there. You can look at that battle log where I had Decius in on the bridge, along with Nero, of course. So peruse that battle log. I'm finding that he's not obviously as effective as Chen for the mitigation and all of that. I was trying it a different way, but there it is. Gorn assault vessel taken out by my weak assed Bortus. So there it is, guys. I'm going to sign off on another one, the Founder server. Thanks to everybody for watching. Like and subscribe. Look after yourselves, look after each other, and I will catch all of you guys again very, very shortly. Cheers.